Was this 4.2?
Yep.
4.3.
Okay, this is 4.2, number 14. So this is an important type of question. You'll be doing a question like this in calculus as well. You won't be doing it quite this way, but this is the type of question that you'll be using calculus to do as well when you get there.
Toward grade 11 or 12.
All right, so the product of two consecutive even integers. So what we have to do is we have to represent what's given in the question, two consecutive even integers. We have to represent with variables or a combination of variables of some sort. And then the part that we're going to make the equation from is this one, okay? So two consecutive even integers, let's focus on that first in blue. If you've got x and y are two consecutive even integers, y, what is y in terms of x?
Y
Like,
minus x.
how can we write? Yes, okay, so if the first integer is x, the next even one, and consecutive means one right after the other, would be x plus 2. You guys see that?
Yes.
Okay. So those are our two quantities in terms of one variable, which is exactly what we want. So now we have to make an equation out of the second part. 16 more, okay, the product, I should highlight that in yellow too. The product, come on, of the two consecutive, so when we multiply these together, it is 16 more than 8 times the smaller integer. So now this is where it gets really, really tricky, okay? So you have to be very careful. The product we know is x times x plus 2. But in order to make an equation, all right, this right here is the product is 16 more than something else. So this is already bigger by 16. So if I want to make it equal to the other thing, which is 8 times the smaller, that's just 8x, because this is the small one, this is 2 larger, so this is the large one. So if this is already 16 times bigger, how do I make them equal? I can add 16 to which side? Right side or left side? So if this is 16 bigger, I can add 16 to this side to make them equal, or I can subtract 16 from this side to make them equal. Either one. So you just got to make sure that your equation now lines up with the words. I would strongly encourage you to reread the equation, check your equation, reread the question, check your equation, go back and forth, make sure it all lines up. So the product of the two consecutive even integers, x and x plus 2, is 16 more than 8 times the smaller. This is the smaller, here's 8 times the smaller. This is 16 more, so let's subtract 16 to make them equal. Or we can add 16 over here. Okay, questions or comments, or is that good? Yep.
Would not the, we have to account for the x always being even, therefore 2x?
No, x is your even number. You don't have to make this 2. You could say 2x and then 2x plus 2 if you want. That's fine too.
Why wouldn't we do that if it's that?
You wouldn't have to do this. Because you wouldn't have to do this because we are letting x equal the first even integer. Yeah. So we don't have to.
So we're not having to prove it algebraically.
We don't have to let our quantity be 2x. We can let it be equal to anything, but you just need to, with your base one, just start with one variable. This will work as well, but you can just do x and x plus 2. Okay. But good question though. All right. So x squared plus 2x, I'm going to actually get this 8x over here, minus 8x minus 16 equals 0. Now we have a quadratic, hey? So x squared, 2 minus 8 is minus 6x, minus 16 equals 0. And we have lots of different ways we could solve this now. We could factor it, we could graph it, find the x-intercepts. We can factor this, I think, pretty easy by sight, right, or by intuition? So what are the two numbers that multiply to negative 16, add to negative 6?
Negative 8 and positive 2.
X minus 8, x plus 2. Okay? Okay, so our two options are x equals positive 8 and x equals negative 2. Now, it's important to note, okay, that in the context of the question, you may have a root or a solution that's not allowed. It's called an extraneous root, which I don't think you'll see in this course, but it's called extraneous root. That's a root that's not allowed with the question. Extra is extraneous. So would there be one of these possible solutions that we would reject based on the nature of the question?
No.
Yes.
You could do both.
Could you do both? Now, if the question said something about positive even integers, then we would reject the negative. But let's read carefully. The product of two consecutive even integers. Oh, Doesn't say anything about positive or negative, so are there any extraneous roots here? No. So that means that these are two options for x. Now, again, another thing, be careful, don't say, oh, the two even integers are 8 and negative 2. Done. No. X is 8 or x is negative 2. Those are the two options for just the x part. So if 8 is x, then we have 8 and 10. If negative 2, so what's negative 2 plus 2 is? 0. So these apparently are our two options for the pairs of consecutive even integers. Now let's see if it works. So if the product 8 times 10 is 80, minus 16 equals 8 times 8. Is that true? 80 minus 16 equals 64? True. Nice. What about these two? Negative 2 times 0 minus 16 equals 8 times negative 2. Well, that's 0, so negative 16 equals negative 16. That's also true. So those two pairs work out. Okay, now I did that pretty fast because hopefully, you didn't need me to go slow. But any questions on that? Because I think those should be your answers there. 8 and 10 and negative 2 and 0. They fit all of the context of the question, both those pairs. Question?
Where are you getting the 8 times 10 from? You're not just like,
From this right here, from the original equation.
where are you getting the 10?
Well, these are my two integers, 8 and 10. That's the first grouping, so I put 8 and 10 in here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anybody else? Okay, easy or hard? Easy, 5 out of 5. You got this? Hard, 1 out of 5, or 0, or a negative 3. Well, where are we at? Hard or?
I get confused with the English, but that's it.
Yep. Yeah, the wording. Truth. That's truth. The wording sometimes can be hard. But the more practice you do with more of these questions, the more you'll get it. Good? All right. Okay, please make sure you're finishing up this assignment. Bell hasn't rang yet. I see some of you got your books closed. I'm assuming you're all done. Are you all done the assignment? Up.